Here algorithm is nothing but the step-by-step finite sequence of instruction. Whatever the algorithm I'm going to write, that does not depend on your programming language. The performance of the algorithm depends on the performance analysis as well as measurement. By using flowchart, it is very easy to maintain your program. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session. I'm Revati, faculty, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram, Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today we are on the third session of fifth chapter, and the chapter name here is Problem Solving Methodology. In my today's session, I'm going to deal with the advantages of algorithm. Along with that, I'm going to discuss disadvantages of algorithm. Along with that, I'm going to discuss analysis of algorithm. Along with that, I'm going to deal with what is flowchart and how to write the flowchart. Along with that, I'm going to deal with the different types of flowchart. Then I'm going to deal with importance of flowchart. Along with that, I'm going to deal with the different symbols comes under flowchart. So these are the certain topics I'm going to discuss in my today's session. Before going to start my today's session, let me to recall the things what I had discussed in my previous session. In my previous session, I started with algorithm. So now tell me, what is algorithm? So here algorithm is nothing but step by step finite sequence of instruction used to solve well-defined problem. So here algorithm is nothing but the step-by-step finite sequence of instruction. That means I'm going to use step-by-step sequence of instruction. What kind of instruction here? Finite sequence of instruction that is mainly used to solve well-defined problem. So here the problem may be nothing but the any kind of problem. That means it may be our real life problem. So here algorithms are used to represent real life problem. In my last session, I had discussion regarding compound interest. That means how to calculate the compound interest. Along with that, I had written the algorithm for how to compute the compound interest. Then we had discussion regarding greatest of three numbers. That means in a given three numbers, how I can able to find the greatest of three numbers. So we had discussion regarding how to find the greatest of three numbers. Then we had discussion regarding factorial of a number, because here we know how to calculate factorial of a given number. Now tell me, what is the formula used to calculate factorial of a number? That is n factorial equal to n into n minus 1. Now I am going to represent these formula in the form of algorithm. Then we had discussion regarding Fibonacci series. That means what is Fibonacci series? How to write the Fibonacci series. Now tell me, what is Fibonacci series? So here Fibonacci series is nothing but the number series that starts from 0 and 1. Suppose if I want to get my third number, what I will do? I'm going to add my previous two number. So now I got third number. Suppose if I want to get my fourth number, what I'm going to do? I'm going to add my previous two number. So I'm going to get fourth number. Suppose if I want to get my fifth number, what I will do? I'm going to add first two previous number, that is 1 plus 2, it is 3. So this is the way I can able to generate Fibonacci series. So these are the topics I have discussed in my previous session. That means I started with what is algorithm. So what is algorithm? Here algorithm is nothing but the step by step finite sequence of instruction that is mainly used to solve well-defined problem. So here problem may be any real-time problem. The best example here I have taken, that is how to calculate the compound interest. Along with that, I had discussed how to find the greatest of three numbers. Along with that, I had discussion regarding what is factorial number and how to generate factorial number. Then I had discussion regarding what is Fibonacci series and how to generate Fibonacci series. Moving further in today's my class, at the beginning I'm going to discuss the advantages of algorithm. So what is algorithm here? Here algorithm is nothing but the finite set of instruction. That means it is step by step finite sequence of instruction that is mainly used to solve particular problem. So it is nothing but step by step procedure used to solve the well-defined problem. Then what is the first advantage here? That is, here we are going to have step-by-step representation. So, it is very easy to understand. That means whatever the problem we are going to have, that is clearly represented by step-by-step procedures. So, it is very easy to understand. Then what is the next advantage here? It is going to have finite number of procedure. That means it is going to have finite number of states. That is the second advantage. That means which can be executed within a period of time. That means it is going to include finite set of instruction or procedure that can be executed within a particular time period. Then what is my next advantage? That is, it is independent of programming language. That means whatever the algorithm I'm going to write, that does not depend on your programming language. So what is my advantage here? That is, it is independent of programming language. Then what is my next advantage? That is easy to debug, as every step has got its own logic. That means in my algorithm, I'm going to represent my real-time problem completely with clear-cut representation. That means it includes finite set of instructions. So it gives complete information about my problem. So it is very easy to debug. That means my algorithm itself includes the complete logic about the problem. So this is one of the advantages of algorithm. So what is my first advantage here? That is, it includes step-by-step representation. So it is very easy to understand. The next advantage here is it got finite number of states or procedures. So it can be executed within given number of time, and it is independent of any programming language. And the last advantage here is it is very easy to debug. These are the certain advantages of algorithm. Then moving further, I'm going to have disadvantages of algorithm. So what is my first disadvantage? That is, it is time consuming. That means I'm going to write each and every steps clearly. So it is time consuming. Then what is my next disadvantage here is an algorithm is developed first and it is converted into flowchart. After that, I'm going to write the computer program. That means before going to write any computer program, what is my first step? Here, I'm going to write the algorithm. After writing algorithm, what is my next step? I'm going to represent these algorithm with the help of flowchart. Once I done with flowchart, what is my next step? I'm going to write the code. So it is time consuming and it is lengthy procedure. So these are the some of the disadvantages of algorithm. Then I'm going to have analysis of algorithm. That means there may be a more than one approach to solve the problem. That means for a particular problem, we are going to have more than one solution. The choice of particular algorithm depends on the following performance. That means whatever the problem I'm going to have, they may include more than one solution. And the performance of the algorithm depends on the performance analysis as well as measurement. So here we are going to have two performance analysis. Along with that, I'm going to have measurement. So what are the two performance analysis I'm going to have? That is space complexity as well as time complexity. Now tell me, what is space complexity? So here the name itself indicates that it is space. So when I tell it is space, that is mainly going to focus on memory. So here space complexity is nothing but the amount of memory needed by the algorithm to complete its execution or run. That means here the space complexity is nothing but the amount of memory that is needed by the algorithm to complete its execution is called space complexity. Then I'm going to have time complexity. That means the amount of time required to complete its execution. That is called time complexity. So these are the two very important measurement of algorithm. So what are the two important measurement I'm going to have? That is space complexity. So here space complexity is nothing but the amount of memory required to run the algorithm, whereas the time complexity is nothing but the time required to run the algorithm. So these are the two important performance analysis or measurement. So these are the two performance analysis. So when we analyze an algorithm depends on the input data, there are three cases. That means here we are going to analyze the algorithm based on the input data. That means whatever the input I'm going to provide to my algorithm, based on that I'm going to have best case, average case and worst case. That means whatever the input I'm going to provide to my algorithm, based on that I'm going to analyze the algorithm. That is best case, average case and worst case. Moving further, I'm going to have flowchart. So what is flowchart here? So here flowchart is nothing but the pictorial representation of algorithm. So whatever the problem I'm going to have, first what I will do, I'm going to convert that problem into algorithm. After algorithm, what I'm going to do? I'm going to represent those algorithms in the form of pictorial or graphical representation. So consider the example here. I want to add two numbers. So I want to find the sum of two numbers. So what is the problem I'm going to have here? That is, I want to find the sum of two numbers. So what I will do here? First, I'm going to write the algorithm. So what is my first step? That is start. So this is my step 1. Then what is my step 2 here? I'm going to read two input. That is read number 1, comma number 2. Then what is my next procedure? That is, I'm going to find the sum of two numbers. That is calculation. So step 3 here, sum equal number 1 plus number 2. After my third step, what's my fourth step? I'm going to print the output. So step 4 here, print sum. Then what is my next step? That is step 5. I'm going to stop my algorithm. So it is end. I'm going to write end. So this is the end of my algorithm. So these are the sequence of instruction for well-defined problem. So what I can able to understand here, by seeing these steps, I can very easily understand what kind of problem I have and what are the operations I'm going to perform. So here, algorithm is nothing but the step-by-step finite sequence of instruction that is mainly used to solve well-defined problem. Now I have algorithm. What I want to do? I want to convert this algorithm into pictorial representation. That is nothing but my flowchart. So at the beginning, what is my first step? That is start. So I will write start. Then what is my next step? That is, I'm going to read number 1 and number 2. Then what is my third step? That is, I'm going to find the calculation. That is finding the sum. Then what is my next step? I'm going to print the output. So print sum, and at the end, I'm going to end my algorithm. So it is stop. So whatever the algorithm I'm going to have, I'm going to represent that one into my pictorial form. That means I'm going to transfer my algorithm in the form of picture. That is graphical representation. So here flowchart plays an important role in the programming of a problem, and it is helpful in understanding the logic of problem. That means it plays very important role in the programming language, and it is also helpful in understanding the logic of program. Once the flowchart is drawn, it becomes easy to write program in any high-level programming language. Once I done with my flowchart, what is my next step? I'm going to write the code. So here I'm going to write my code by using any high-level programming language. Moving further, I'm going to have the different types of flowcharts. So here flowcharts are classified into two types, that is program flowchart and system flowchart. Now tell me, what is program flowchart? So it is representation or diagrammatic representation of a sequence of instruction. So here program flowchart is nothing but the diagrammatic or pictorial or graphical representation of sequence of instruction for solving a program. Then what is system flowchart? So here the name itself indicates that it is mainly going to concentrate on your system. So it indicates the flow of data throughout a data processing system. So here we are mainly going to focus on system, and what kind of system I'm going to focus, that is data processing system. So here system flowchart is indicate the flow of data through a data processing system as well as the flow into and out of the system. That means how the data flows inside the data processing system and how the data flows outside the data processing system. Such flowcharts are widely used by the designer to explain a data processing system. So in program flowchart, we are mainly going to concentrate on the pictorial representation of program or problem, whereas in my system flowchart, it's mainly going to concentrate on data processing system. That means how the data enters into the system and how the data flows outside the system. So here system flowchart is nothing but the data processing system. Moving further, I'm going to have the importance of flowchart. That means why I required flowchart and why it is most important. In that first one, it is communication. So here the flowchart is the better way of communication of logical of problem. That means here the flowchart is the medium used to communicate of the logic of a program. That means by using flowchart, we can able to represent the logic. So this is the communication media used to represent the logic. Then I'm going to have another importance, that is effective analysis. That means with the help of flowchart, problem can be analyzed more effectively. That means whatever the flowchart contains, that is same as your algorithm. That means first I'm going to write the algorithm. After that, I'm going to convert my algorithm into flowchart. So which gives the complete information about the problem. With the help of flowchart, the problem can be analyzed more effectively. Then I'm going to have another importance, that is proper documentation. That means program flowchart serves as a good program documentation. That means in program flowchart, we are going to give the pictorial representation about the problem. So it gives the proper documentation and the complete idea about the problem. So here program flowchart serves as a good program documentation which is needed for various programs. And I'm going to have another importance, that is efficient coding. The flowchart acts as guide or blueprint during the system analysis. That means the flowchart gives the complete information about your problem. So that is used as your blueprint. So here flowchart acts as guide or blueprint during the system analysis as well as during program development phase. That means based on your flowchart, the programmer or designer can able to code the program. Then I'm going to have another importance, that is proper debugging. That means the flow chart helps in debugging process. That means whatever the data or whatever the solution I'm going to have, that is clearly defined in my flow chart. By using flow chart, you can very easily debug your code. So the flow chart helps in debugging process. Along with that, I'm going to have another importance, that is efficient program maintenance. That means the maintenance of program become easy with the help of flowchart. That means flowchart holds the complete information about your problem. By using flowchart, it is very easy to maintain your program. So these are the some of the importance of flowchart. Moving further, I'm going to have the certain symbols I'm going to use to represent flowchart. That means in that first one, I'm going to have symbol, that is vowel. What is the symbol? It is vowel, and it is mainly used to represent terminals. That means I'm going to represent my start or stop state. So here vowels are mainly used to represent start or stop state. Then I'm going to have parallelogram. So what is this symbol name? That is parallelogram, and it is mainly used to represent input as well as output. That means whatever the input I have, suppose if I want to represent in the form of flowchart, then I'm going to use parallelogram. And if I want to represent my output, once again I'm going to use parallelogram. Then I'm going to have rectangle. So here rectangles are mainly used to represent calculation part. So it is nothing but processing. So here rectangles are mainly used to represent processing or calculation part. Then I'm going to have preparation. So what is preparation here? Suppose if I want to represent my for loop, in that time I'm going to use this symbol, and this symbol is called preparation. Then I'm going to have rhombus. So what is rhombus and why I required rhombus here? Suppose if I want to take any decision or any branching, in that time I'm going to use rhombus. Then I'm going to have predefined process. That means it is nothing but subprogram. Suppose if you want to represent your function, then here you can able to use predefined process. Then I'm going to have circle. Suppose if you want to connect, that time I can able to use circle. Then I'm going to have arrow. So why I required arrow mark here? That is mainly used to represent flow of direction. So here the arrow marks are mainly used to represent the flow of data. At the beginning, I'm going to have vowel. So that is mainly used to indicate start or stop. Then I'm going to have parallelogram. That is mainly used to represent input as well as output. Then I'm going to have rectangle box. That is mainly used to represent processing or calculation. Then I'm going to have preparation. That is mainly used to represent for loop. Then I'm going to have rhombus. That is mainly used to represent decision as well as branching. Then I'm going to have predefined process, and it is mainly used to represent functions. And I'm going to have circle, that is mainly used to represent connector. And at the end, I'm going to have arrow mark, and that is mainly used to represent flow direction. That means flow of data. These are the certain symbols comes under flowchart. That means I'm going to use these are the symbols to represent or to draw flowchart. In my today's session, I started with what is the advantages of algorithm. Along with that, we had discussion regarding disadvantages of algorithm and the different analysis are performed on algorithm. Along with that, we had discussion regarding flowchart. Along with that, we had discussion regarding the importance of flowchart. Then we had discussion regarding the different symbols of flowchart. So dear student, let's meet in my next session with some more information about problem solving methodology. Until then, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.